Welcome to the Super Podcast channel. Me, Eric, and Alice are here with you to learn a little bit of English.
And a very warm welcome to you. We are so happy that you've decided to join us for this really in-depth look.
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
Today we are going on a pretty important mission. We're going to carefully, and I mean really slowly and deliberately, break down the language you need for, well, one of the most common things we do in life.
Eating out
Yeah.
and making recommendations for restaurants.
Exactly. We're going to analyze it all.
That's right. And we know that sometimes when you're learning English, everything can feel a little fast. So our promise to you today is that we're going to take our time. We'll move at a pace that really lets you absorb every single detail. Our mission is to do a deep dive into a bunch of language examples.
Full conversations even.
Yeah, full snippets, focusing on food, dining, how to give suggestions, and also how to deal with those really serious, important things like allergies.
Right. We want to make sure that by the time we're done here, you don't just have a general idea, but you have the exact practical phrases ready to go.
Ready for the real world.
Yes.
Right.
So you feel prepared, not rushed when it's your turn to pick a place to eat.
I am absolutely enthusiastic about this.
Yeah.
I really am. It's so practical. It's necessary. Everyone can use this.
Of course.
I mean, who isn't hungry for knowledge, right? Especially when it helps you talk about where you want to eat next.
A perfect way to put it.
So, to get started, we need to build our foundation. There are two absolutely vital words we have to understand first. They kind of set the stage for everything else.
They really do. Before we can even listen to the main conversation where people are trying to pick a restaurant, we absolutely have to define these two words.
Okay.
And they aren't just vocabulary. They represent situations that you just can't negotiate. They really impact the choices people make.
So understanding these is the key to why some suggestions get accepted and, well, why others get rejected. All right, let's do the first one. This is something that I think everyone is afraid of, whether you're traveling or just eating down the street.
For sure. The first concept is food poisoning. Let's say that nice and slow. Food poisoning.
Food poisoning. It sounds simple, but the reality of it is huge.
It is. It's immense. So how do we define it? Well, food poisoning is the illness, the sickness you get when you eat contaminated food.
Contaminated. So food that has something bad in it.
Right. Usually bacteria or viruses or parasites.
Yeah.
Things that just should not be in what you're eating.
So just to be super clear, we're not talking about a stomachache because you ate too much pizza.
No.
If you get food poisoning, it means the food itself was bad. It was unsafe or it wasn't handled correctly, and that bad food made you really, really sick.
Absolutely. The symptoms can be, well, they can be pretty terrible. Intense stomach pain, vomiting, diarrhea, sometimes a fever. It can be a truly awful experience.
Which is why if someone says a restaurant gave them food poisoning.
That's it. It's a definitive, immediate no. A total rejection of that place.
Okay, and a quick question on the language itself. How do we talk about it? Do you catch food poisoning like you catch a cold?
That's a great question. We usually say someone gets food poisoning or that they have food poisoning.
Oh.
So, for example, I got food poisoning from that seafood place last night. Or you might say, she has food poisoning and can't come to work today. We don't really say catch because you're eating it directly. You're ingesting it.
That makes total sense. Okay, so for a practical, real-world situation, say you're traveling and you think this is happening to you, what are a couple of phrases you absolutely need to know?
Excellent point. You'd need to be able to say something like, I think I have food poisoning. I feel very nauseous.
Nauseous, that's the feeling like you're going to be sick.
Exactly. Like you need to vomit. Another really important phrase would be, I have severe cramps and a high fever.
Right.
And if you had to call the restaurant, you'd say, I'm calling because I became very sick after eating at your restaurant yesterday.
Yeah.
Communicating those three things, nausea, cramps, and fever, shows just how serious it is.
That's vital information. Okay, so that's food poisoning. Sickness from generally bad food. And what's our second word? It's also about being sick, but it's much more specific.
Yes. The second word is allergic. Let's say that one slowly too. Allergic.
Allergic.
This describes a person's condition. It's when something specific, and it's often a totally normal food, causes an illness, a reaction in your body. This isn't about bad cooking. It's about your body's specific response to one thing.
So if you're allergic to, say, peanuts, your immune system sees the peanut protein as a kind of dangerous invader.
Precisely. And your body launches an attack, which is what causes the symptom.
And those symptoms can be pretty scary.
They can range from something mild, like a rash or being itchy, all the way to extremely severe and even life-threatening. The example in our source material is a really serious one.
The seafood allergy.
Right. Someone who is allergic to seafood might have trouble breathing after they eat it. That's called anaphylaxis.
Which just puts the danger level way, way up there.
Yeah.
So being allergic is totally different from just not liking a food.
Oh, completely. It's a genuine medical problem. It can be fatal.
So the key takeaway is, if one specific type of food always makes you sick, every single time, no matter how well it's cooked,
Then you are allergic to that food. Some of the really common ones you hear about are allergies to nuts, especially peanuts, or gluten, which is in wheat, or dairy, milk products.
so how do you communicate this in a restaurant? You can't just hope they know.
You have to be very clear and assertive about it. The best way is to say something like, I have a severe allergy to peanuts. Can you guarantee there are none in this dish?
Severe allergy, that's the key phrase.
Yes, it signals to the staff that this is serious. It's not a preference. It's a safety issue. It's crucial for keeping you safe.
Okay, so these two words, food poisoning and allergic, they're the big ones. They set the boundaries. Now that we understand what's at stake, let's dive into the actual conversation and see how they play out.
Wonderful. Yes, now we get to the heart of it, the actual dialogue. This is a conversation between people who are just trying to figure out dinner plans.
Something we've all done. And it can get complicated.
For sure, even without these serious issues.
So the way it starts is very normal. Someone just asks if the others have any plans for the evening. Just a casual way to start.
And the response immediately gives us our first key phrase. They say, we were thinking of checking out a restaurant in the neighborhood. Do you have any suggestions?
Checking out. We're going to break that down more later, I know, but for now it just means they were thinking of going to visit a place to see if it's any good.
Exactly. And they're asking for suggestions. They need ideas, right? Recommendations from someone who might know the area.
So the first person jumps in. They're very enthusiastic. They recommend a really nice Italian place.
A classic choice. It's a pretty safe bet, usually.
But they do more than just say the name. They use really strong words, and they give specific reasons, which makes the suggestion sound much better.
Yes. What were the two reasons?
First, they said the food is fantastic.
And we should pause on that word. Fantastic. That's a powerful word. It means it's exceptionally good. Superior. If you say food is fantastic, that's a very, very high compliment.
It's not just good, it's a big step up.
A huge step up.
And the second reason wasn't about the food itself, it was about the place. They said the decor is beautiful.
Right. So the decor is how the inside of the restaurant looks and feels. The furniture, the lights, the art.
So they're selling the whole experience. It tastes great, and it's a beautiful place to be.
And here's the phrase they use to actually make the suggestion. This is one you really want to remember. I'd recommend giving it a try.
I'd recommend giving it a try. It's polite, but it's also strong. A really great way to suggest anything in English.
Absolutely.
But here comes the problem. The first roadblock in the conversation. And this can be tricky, socially. How do you say no without being rude?
Well, the listener here does it perfectly. They reject the Italian place by saying, actually, I'm not all that crazy about Italian food.
Ooh, that's a good one. Not all that crazy about.
It's so good. It's a perfect example of softening the no. They're not saying, I hate Italian food. That would be too direct, maybe a bit harsh.
Right. It's just expressing a preference, not some kind of huge problem.
And then right after that, they say what they do want. They say, I'm in the mood for something a bit lighter.
Okay, so that's really helpful. It tells the other person two things. No Italian, and the new goal is something lighter.
Yep. Food that's maybe easier to digest, fresh, maybe lots of vegetables, not something with heavy, rich sauces.
And because they were so polite and clear, the conversation can just keep going. The person making the suggestions just tries again.
Right. They adjust to the new request.
And the second suggestion is for a great little bistro.
The word bistro is a great word. It immediately makes you think of a certain kind of place. Small, probably informal, maybe a little European. We'll definitely dig into that word more.
And again, they use great details about the food to make it sound good. They say the bistro makes a really tasty seafood platter.
And that the fish is outstanding. So again, really strong, positive words. Tasty means delicious, and outstanding means it's excellent, remarkable.
It sounds like a perfect suggestion, right? It fits the request for something lighter.
It does, but here comes the second roadblock, And this one is impossible to get past. It connects right back to our first vocabulary words.
The rejection is immediate and it's medical. The listener says, "It sounds fantastic, but I'm allergic to seafood."
And that's it. Conversation over on that topic.
Bam, it just stops.
It's a non-negotiable problem. It doesn't matter how tasty or outstanding the fish is. It's a serious health risk.
So that shows you why a word like allergic is so important. You don't need polite excuses. The reason is crystal clear.
Exactly.
So, okay, the first suggestion was rejected because of a preference Italian was too heavy. The second one because of a medical reason, the seafood allergy. The recommender has one last try.
They've got to think fast and come up with something totally different.
And this time, they almost apologize for how the place looks. They say they know this great little place, but then they add, "It's just a hole in the wall."
A hole in the wall. I love that phrase. It's a great idiom.
It is. It means the restaurant is small, maybe not very attractive from the outside, probably inexpensive.
But the hidden meaning, when a local suggests it, is that the food is incredible even if the place doesn't look like much.
And the specialty at this place.
Yeah.
They make the most amazing sandwiches.
And look at the phrase they use to suggest it. You've got to give them a try.
That sounds much stronger than I'd recommend.
It is. It's almost like a command. It's a really, really strong recommendation.
But this is where the conversation completely falls apart, and it brings us right back to our very first vocabulary word.
The listener rejects the sandwich place immediately because of a bad memory. You took me there last time I visited, and I got food poisoning, remember?
Oh, wow.
That is the ultimate rejection. It's not about taste. It's not about preference. It's about safety. That place has a history of making people sick.
So when you look at the whole conversation, you see how complicated choosing a restaurant can be.
It really is.
3 suggestions, and each one was rejected for a very clear, very specific reason. Preference, an allergy, and a history of food poisoning. And being able to talk about those reasons clearly is what makes the conversation work, even if they don't find a place to eat.
Exactly. The fluency is in how they navigate those rejections.
Okay, we've gone through the context. Now it's time for the language takeaway section. This is where we are going to focus like a laser on 5 specific phrases.
Yes. And if you can master these, your English is going to sound so much more natural, so much better than what you'd find in a textbook. We're going to spend some real time on each one.
We're going to slow it down even more here.
We have to. We need to internalize not just what they mean, but how they feel and when it's the right time to use them.
Okay, let's start with the first one. It's a phrasal verb. Check out.
We heard it right at the beginning. We were thinking of checking out a restaurant.
And the simple definition is just look at or go see. But the feeling behind it is more. It's like a casual investigation, right? You're curious.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's so much more conversational than saying, I will investigate this restaurant. Checkout is all about curiosity. Let's look at a few examples to see how flexible it is.
Okay, the first example we had was about a new place. Have you been to the new cafe next door? Yeah, I checked it out yesterday. The food was great.
So in that sentence, checked it out means they went, they experienced it, and they formed an opinion. It was a visit to evaluate it.
Right. Okay, but you can use it for things that aren't places. Right?
Oh, absolutely. You could use it to talk about, say, a new job or something you're thinking of studying. I'm not sure what to study at university, so I'm checking out engineering and computer science programs this semester.
I see. So you're just casually looking into them,
Yeah.
researching them. You're not committed yet.
Not at all. Or let's say you're showing a friend a song or a TV show. You'd say, you have to check out this new series. It's fantastic.
And there, it's more like a command. It means pay attention to this. Look at this.
Exactly. And there's even another meaning, a totally different one that has to do with money. At the grocery store, you go to the checkout line.
Or when you leave a hotel, you check out. You pay your bill and you leave.
So the common idea is always about attention, evaluation, or finishing something. But for our listeners, the main thing to remember is that saying, let's go check out that new restaurant sounds so much more natural than let's go visit and evaluate that new restaurant.
For sure. Okay, our second term is bistro.
Yes, bistro. This word has so much culture and meaning packed into it. It's much more than just the simple definition.
Which we said was a small restaurant. But that doesn't really tell you enough, does it? What makes a bistro different from a cafe or a diner?
That's the key question. The word bistro comes from France, and originally it was a small place that served simple, not too expensive, traditional French food.
So there's a French or European feeling to it.
Yeah.
What about the atmosphere?
The atmosphere is everything. A bistro is almost always informal. You don't need to wear a fancy suit or a dress.
And the price?
It's right in that perfect middle spot. Like I said, it's not really cheap, but not so expensive either. It's a great place for a regular meal that still feels a little bit special.
So a cafe is usually more about coffee and pastries. A diner is more American, with burgers and breakfast all day.
Right. And a bistro serves more complete meals, maybe stews, grilled fish, things like that. But it's still small and cozy. It doesn't have the formality of a big, fancy restaurant with white tablecloths.
So if someone suggests the bistro, they're telling you a few things all at once. It's charming, the food is good quality, and the vibe is relaxed.
You've got it. That's the message in that one little word.
Okay, next up. And this one is so useful, not all that crazy about.
This might be one of the most important social phrases in English. We saw it used to gently say no to Italian food.
And the definition is simple. It's a polite way to say you don't like something. But what it does is so important. It helps avoid arguments or awkwardness.
It really does. When you're learning English, you learn to say, I don't like. But that can sound a little harsh sometimes. This phrase is like a cushion. It softens the blow.
It kind of suggests I have an opinion, and it's a little negative, but hey, I'm open to other ideas.
Exactly. Even the words themselves, not all that crazy, they imply that you don't hate it. You just lack enthusiasm for it.
Let's look at the shopping example. I'm not all that crazy about shopping. I don't like spending money.
It's a gentle way to explain why you might say no to going to the mall.
Or what about for a hobby? My friends want me to go mountain biking, but I'm not all that crazy about heights.
A perfect use.
Yeah.
You're explaining your preference without making it sound like mountain biking is a bad activity.
And you can even shorten it, right? The music example was just, I'm not crazy about jazz music. Can I change the song?
Yes, in very casual speech, you can drop the all that. But in every case, it does two things. It clearly communicates your preference, and it keeps the conversation polite and friendly, a must-know phrase.
Definitely. Okay, let's move to a positive one. Tasty.
Tasty. It just means good or delicious.
But there's a really important little secret here for sounding natural.
There is. Many English learners are taught the word delicious, and it's a great word. But in real, everyday, casual conversation, native speakers say, it's really tasty way more often.
Why do you think that is? Is delicious too formal?
That's a great question. I think delicious can feel a bit big, a bit dramatic. It's something you might say about a meal at a very expensive restaurant. Tasty, on the other hand, just feels more immediate and authentic.
Right, it's what you say when your friend gives you a cookie and it's really good.
Exactly. Saying, wow, that's really tasty sounds so much more natural than this cookie is incredibly delicious.
So we heard it in the dialogue describing the seafood platter as really tasty. It's a great compliment because it's all about the flavor.
You can use it for anything. This coffee is surprisingly tasty. This soup has a lot of flavor. It's really tasty. It's easy, it's functional, and it sounds great.
Perfect. Okay, our last phrase in this section is in the mood for.
This one is all about what you want right now. The person in the dialogue said, I am in the mood for something a bit lighter.
So it means you want to do something or want to eat something based on how you feel in this exact moment.
Yes, it's an emotional choice. It's not just, I want this, it's I feel like having this right now.
Let's look at the example about habits versus desire. We always eat hamburgers for dinner. I'm in the mood for something different.
See? The current mood is more powerful than the usual routine. The person needs a change.
And it works in the negative, too. I am not in the mood for a horror movie.
Which is a very polite way of saying, that doesn't match how I feel right now. Maybe you're tired or stressed and you just want to watch something happy.
Your mood says no.
Your mood dictates the choice, and you can use this for anything. Food, movies, activities. I'm not really in the mood for a big party tonight. I just want to stay home.
It's a really great way to explain your internal state in a simple, clear way.
It is. So, to wrap up this section, check out for casual investigation. Bistro for that specific atmosphere. Not all that crazy about for polite rejections. Tasty for authentic compliments. And in the mood for to express what you want right now.
5 phrases that will immediately make your English sound better.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's build on that. Let's focus on the actual mechanics of the conversation. How to ask for and give suggestions so you sound really fluent.
This is where we get into the rhythm of the speech.
Exactly. Let's start with asking for suggestions. The dialogue gave us a perfect standard phrase.
Which was,
Do you have any suggestions? It's clear, it's polite, you can use it anywhere, it's perfect.
but there are other ways to say it too, right? To mix it up a little.
Yes. You could also ask, do you have any ideas? Or do you have any thoughts?
And are they slightly different?
Just slightly. Asking for ideas might be a bit broader. Maybe you don't even know what type of food you want. Asking for thoughts is more about asking for their personal opinion. But honestly, all three are great.
Okay, now for the other side. Giving suggestions. This is where we need to be persuasive.
Right, and we have two main phrases. The first is the polite one. I'd recommend giving it a try.
And the second is the stronger, more urgent one. You've got to give them a try.
Let's just quickly talk about the difference between recommend and suggest. Recommend feels a bit stronger. It's like you're putting your reputation behind it. You're saying, I have experience here and I endorse this.
I see. So I'd recommend is a strong but still polite endorsement.
Yeah.
What about you got to give them a try? That sounds much more forceful.
It is. The phrase got to implies that it's necessary. It's like saying, this is so good that you're making a mistake if you don't try it.
It's for when you absolutely love a place.
Maximum enthusiasm.
Okay, and now for maybe the most important part of this section, for sounding natural. Pronunciation and contractions.
Yes, this is where so many learners sound a little bit like a textbook. We have to remember that shortening phrases makes you sound a lot more natural.
If you say every single word perfectly, like, I would recommend, just doesn't sound like a real conversation.
It really doesn't. So let's look at that first contraction. The change from I would recommend to I'd recommend.
What just kind of vanishes?
It completely collapses into that quick I'd sound. Practice it. I'd recommend the pasta. I'd recommend the fish. It's fast.
And this is true for other things, too. We'd love to go instead of we would love to go.
Mastering that little laid sound is a huge step toward fluency.
Okay, now for the second one, which is even more contracted in casual speech. You have got to becomes you got to.
Or sometimes even faster. It sounds like you got.
Wow, the have is just gone.
Completely gone. And the to gets soft. And remember what the sources said. If you watch movies or TV shows, you will almost never hear a native speaker say the full phrase, you have got to give them a try.
They always say you got to or you gotta.
Always. So if you're not listening for that shortened form, you might miss the meaning entirely. You have to practice saying it and hearing it.
Right. You gotta see that movie. You gotta call her back.
It always means that same thing. Strong recommendation, almost a necessity.
Okay, let's try to put all of these pieces together in a little practice run.
Great idea. I'll ask you for a suggestion. You give me a natural answer using everything we've learned. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions for a light dinner tonight?
Well, I'm not all that crazy about going too far, but I'd recommend giving that new Mediterranean place a try. They have fantastic grilled chicken, and the decor is beautiful. You got to try their hummus.
Perfect. That was absolutely perfect.
You think so?
Yes. You had the polite rejection, not all that crazy about. You had the polite recommendation, I'd recommend. You used great words like fantastic and beautiful, and you ended with that strong, urgent push, you got to. That is exactly what fluency sounds like.
Awesome. Okay, we've broken down all the language, but now we need to connect it to a real-world story to see the high stakes.
Yes, let's go back to that food poisoning story. This is where the vocabulary goes from being a word on a page to a really intense personal experience.
So the story takes place while traveling in Morocco, a situation where, your body isn't used to the local bacteria.
And the irony, the really cruel part of the story, is what caused the problem. It wasn't some sketchy street meat.
No, it was something that sounds so healthy and safe. It was really amazing orange juice that was fresh squeezed.
It just shows you that the risks aren't always obvious. So this person drinks the juice, and then right after, they have to get on a long bus ride.
Oh, no.
The worst possible timing.
And this is where the language of being uncomfortable really comes in. The narrator says they started to feel really sick while stuck in the moving bus.
Can you imagine that feeling when you know you're getting sick, but there is absolutely nowhere to go? It's a terrible trapped feeling.
And look at the words they used to describe their desperation.
Yeah.
They were hoping and hoping and hoping that the bus ride would be over soon, but unfortunately it wasn't.
That repetition of hoping? You can just feel the panic in that sentence. They are just praying for it to end minute by minute.
And the final description of how they felt is so simple, but so effective. I was pretty sick and really, really unhappy.
It's understated, but you know exactly what they mean. Pretty sick means they were significantly ill, and really, really unhappy captures all the misery and regret of the whole situation.
So let's think about why this happened. It wasn't the orange itself.
No, it was probably something in the preparation. Maybe the juice was mixed with a little bit of dirty water. Water that had bacteria a tourist's body couldn't handle?
Or maybe the machine they used to squeeze the oranges wasn't clean.
Either way, this whole story just reinforces the lesson for travelers. You have to be prepared to ask those safety questions.
Like, is the water filtered? Or was this washed with bottled water?
Exactly. This story shows that learning the language of food safety isn't just an academic exercise, it's a survival skill. It makes the term food poisoning feel very real and very unpleasant.
For sure.
Yeah.
So whether you're rejecting a friend's suggestion because of a bad memory, or telling a waiter about your allergy, or trying to explain that you're sick on a bus in Morocco.
These words and phrases are absolutely essential.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've done a really slow, really thorough analysis. Let's just do a quick recap of what we've learned in this deep dive.
We started with the boundaries of safety. We mastered food poisoning, that's the general sickness from bad food, and being allergic, that specific personal medical reaction.
Then we built up our tools for being polite in a conversation. We learned how to say no gently with not all that crazy about.
And how to say what we want right now using in the mood for.
And so importantly, we worked on fluency by practicing those critical contractions. We learned to say and hear, I'd recommend.
And that super common, super important phrase, you got to give them a try.
And along the way, we picked up all these great descriptive words, like the special feeling of a bistro, the high praise of fantastic and outstanding.
And that simple, authentic compliment, tasty. All of these tools let you navigate a conversation about food with confidence.
Okay, so for our final thought, our challenge for you, our listener, let's go back to that original conversation. It was a complete failure.
A disaster. All 3 suggestions were rejected. Italian was too heavy.
The seafood bistro was out because of the allergy.
And the sandwich hole in the wall was out because of that terrible food poisoning incident.
So the person's request is very clear. They need something a bit lighter. So no heavy pasta or rich sauces.
It absolutely 100% cannot have seafood.
And it has to be a place that is known to be safe and clean.
Right. So if Italian and seafood are off the table, we're probably looking at cuisines that focus on fresh vegetables or grilled meats, maybe something like Thai or Vietnamese.
Or Mediterranean, like Greek or Lebanese food. Those often have great light options.
Exactly. So here is your challenge. We want you to build the perfect 4th suggestion. Using the vocabulary we learned today, pasty, outstanding decor, I'd recommend, in the mood for what specific type of restaurant or cuisine would you suggest to finally solve this problem?
Yeah. Try saying the sentence out loud. Put all the pieces together and become the hero who finds them a place to eat.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the language of dining. We really hope this slow, clear walkthrough has given you not just words, but the confidence to use them.
Keep up your learning journey. We will see you next time. Goodbye.